Welcome to Coin Flip, where we have serious debates about important topics. The catches that we decide... the catches decide we defend will be decided by flipping a coin. Hence the title. You too can participate by liking or disliking the video. Also, pitch a topic below and tell me if you want it to be featured in a future episode. So what are we arguing about today? You tell me, actually.
Oh, I tell you?
Sure.
We're going to be arguing about whether or not Moe is trash.
Yeah, that's a fantastic topic. So let's
trash for liking it.
Let's first get into what Moe is.
Okay,
I feel like it's
so
important to define.
yes, so Moe is kind of unique to Japanese works where it's the feeling that arises when you witness something cute, or not necessarily cute, or just something that you want to protect or make you feel emotional. It's derived from the word moeteru, which either means to burn or to sprout.
Do you just have that at the top of your head? Do you actually just have like a screen in front of you?
No, I know. I had to make a video on it a couple months before, so.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Because I was purely thinking in my mind off the aesthetic, which I think we might focus that down to just to make things more simple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Also, who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Kamimashita.
That's good. I've never actually heard your name pronounced, so I'm glad that I was able to hear it before trying to pronounce it myself.
You need to watch the Monogatari series.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't like how. First of all, recommend that to me. Is that amazing? I assume it's good. If you...
It's actually probably maybe one of my, or if the favorite anime of all time of mine.
That's fair. That's fair. So why is it good though? Because I don't really know anything about that series. I just know like the aesthetic, basically. Like I recognize characters from it.
So the aesthetic is one thing. It's completely crazy. It's animated by Studio Shaft, who is well known for just being completely out there in regards to visuals and production. But even beyond that, it has a lot of great things to say about just the things that characters go through and the overall narrative. It's written by Nishio Oisin, who is famous for doing the Monogatari series. He also did Katana Gatari and recently Juni Tyson, which is not really indicative of his best work, but regardless, it's really well written and the characters above all else are great.
Yeah, how recent is Juni Tyson? Is that last year or the year before?
I think that was last season.
Okay.
Either last season or the season before that.
Okay. Because like I remember that just like in the like the close memory, basically, just from hearing word of mouth. But this is kind of all over the place. I think we can kind of start getting into the whole Moe argument. Let's see. What's a good amount of time? I think 7 minutes will be perfect, actually. I tend to throw around like the amount of time that's spent on it. I don't think I spent too much time, arguing back and forth with it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
But basically I'm going to type heads and tails into the chat, and I'll click enter when you choose heads or tails. And whichever one you get will be the side you're defending. Okay, so what are you going with, heads or tails?
I am going to go with heads.
Okay. So that's the side you are on. I'll be defending the opposite.
This will physically hurt me.
I understand, man.
I'm always up for a good devil's advocate argument, so
that's kind of the point. Because man, I have some stuff to say after this is done with. But do you feel comfortable starting?
Yeah, I can start if you'd like.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the timer in 3, 2, 1. Make your case. Why is Moe trash?
I've got 7 minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Moe is trash because it is completely devoid of depth. You can make anything cute, and if all your anime has going for it is that things are cute, then I don't think that's indicative of a good anime. Like basically, like if you take a look at something like Panda Peace, it's a show about it's a short that aired a couple seasons ago about girls who really like bread, and the entire show is them liking bread and eating bread, and there's nothing beyond that. And if you have a show like that, that's obviously just marketed towards people who like moe, and that's moe trash.
Or they like bread.
Or they like bread. It's cute bread though.
That's fair.
Like basically, moe is just one facet, and it's too easily corrupted, and some people use it as a crutch. Because some people think that if you can just make something in a show cute, that automatically makes your show good. It's basically pandering.
Okay.
Even shows like K-On! The K-On! Is actually labeled as a seinen, which means it's marketed towards people in their early 20s men. And why is that when it's a show about high school girls learning music? Because it's only there to make, old men feel better about themselves and relax after a hard day. That's all it's about.
So the whole point is that it basically lacks a lot of substance and depth to it.
Exactly. It does not. It lacks substance and relies purely on its moe or cute visuals to draw the viewer in. And if you don't have anything beyond that, then you have a trash show.
Well, what if you take that and kind of apply it and go deeper with it? And also just moe as an aesthetic, I think is perfectly fine. But I'll get back to that. First and foremost, my favorite anime potentially would be Gakko Garashi, or A School Live, which takes the moe aesthetic and theming and does a lot good with it and does a lot of subversion with it and makes it like really interesting and something good to talk about. And it actually gets you to care for the characters quite a lot when stuff starts to go down eventually in the series without, spoiling anything. And as far as like other shows, I watch a lot of moe stuff, but what I tend to watch happens to take that aesthetic and use it as a way to get you to care for the characters a lot more. Like Girls Last Tour is probably my favorite show from last year, and a big part of that is just the aesthetic and how the characters talk and behave, and it gets you to care for them a lot. And when you see them going through this like harsh situation and seeing them as optimistic as they are and how just nice it makes the viewer feel, it's so relaxing, and it's just like such a good payoff to have like those countering themes conflicting with one another, if that makes sense. So I think it actually has a lot going for it as far as, creating commentary about how the character, sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but I do feel like it has a lot of purpose in getting the viewer to get invested, and I feel like that's really important.
The thing is, you can do that without employing a moe aesthetic, because you could argue that if your writing is good enough, then you can make the viewer feel emphatic and care about anything, regardless of the aesthetic. If you take a look at maybe like Shinsekai Yori, it's from the New World, that art style is incredibly unique and is pretty much almost the opposite of moe. However, you still care for the characters and Saki just fine. And I'm sure you can find examples in other anime as well. In fact, sometimes you could probably point out examples of when moe detracts rather than adds by being dissonant with the tone of the series. Now, obviously, in shows like Akugarashi, that's the whole point, to be, give you that sense of disconnect. But it's possible that it could be used poorly in other shows.
Oh, it's always possible, but that's kind of any genre. Do you think it's really fair to kind of pin moe on that? Because, we've had the conversations in the past on Coin Flip with like harem and tsundere. It's like they're aspects that aid in defining characters in a story, but they can be used in good ways and bad ways. So defining it all as trash is probably a bit of a reach. What do you think about that? I'm sorry, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna argue that yes, obviously something can be used poorly or well, and you shouldn't denounce the entire quote-unquote genre or use of that technique because of poor examples. However, I argue that since moe is such an easy thing to employ, like moe is a very recognizable aesthetic. If you look at a show, you can instantly tell whether or not it is a quote-unquote moe anime. If you take a look at shows like Is the Order a Rabbit or Kinero Mosaic, you know, the big faces and the giant eyes and the tiny chibi bodies. So I've argued that it can be used as a crutch because it's easier just to make something moe and make it so the viewer has to be like, oh, that's cute, therefore I identify with it and therefore I like it, rather than actually write them well or write a good character.
Right. As far as like going into character writing, I think aesthetic is a huge part in that, though. You know what I mean? Like how a character appears to you will, you know, define how you view them, I guess. Like how they're presented is a big part of how you will feel about a character. And honestly, the moe design does a lot good to get you to care about that character. Even if you could see it as a crutch, I see it using it to its advantage a lot of the time. And that's kind of all I have to say on that. We do have 13 seconds left, so I think we could call it here.
I'm good of
unless you had some deep personal vendettas against it, I think we can call it.
Yeah, no, I think I'm fine.
Okay. So that's the end of that. Real thoughts, obviously, as with most of these, might have to mix up the formula a bit because a lot of this is like generalizing, but I think moe is fine. You know, I'm surprised you didn't take the argument that it's oversaturated because that's a big point that I would use as a counter argument. But aside from that, I feel it's fine. And obviously you have your outliers where some are good and some are terrible.
Yeah, I started to lean towards that.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously I love moe. like 80% of the shows I watch are moe.
Right.
I mean, obviously it can be used wrong, but when it's used to good effect, it's something magical. Like okay, so I mentioned K-On! And my heart hurts for mentioning him.
Your heart hurts for like criticizing it. I understand that.
I mean, because like it's not a real criticism, and because K-On! has a loads of depth to it, other than the moe-ness of it, and it's probably tied with the Monogatari series for my favorite series. So,
right. So, tell us what you think, guys. Moe trash or not? Like or dislike? Yes for trash, dislike for no. Yeah, you'll figure it out. Whatever. But like, since we're both kind of fans of moe in a sense, what are some really good like outliers? Like for me, I mentioned Gaku Garashi and Girls Last Tour. Though I wouldn't like to talk about Gaku Garashi too much, just because, you know, spoilers and stuff. I also planning on a video, but so Girls Last Tour, K-On! I think New Game's also really good. Is there anything else you want to add to that as far as like good examples?
So there's a show that actually not many people have heard of. It's called Shakunetsu no Takyu Musume, or Scorching Ping Pong Girls.
I mean, I dig the name.
It's amazing. So it's about really sweaty girls who played ping pong in middle school.
Okay, so
and so the reason I want to pimp it here is because it uses the moe in combination with regular sports tropes. So like there's like a tournament arc and all that. So I feel like the cuteness of the characters combined with the desire to want them to win just skyrockets that emotion even further. And I think it works really well there. And plus the animation is insane. It's actually one of the best series I've seen with that type of like sports animation.
Like, do you know who's behind it? Like off the top of your head, like what studio at least?
I do not, but I can look it up.
Right. It'd be better if you did, but my keyboard is lousy as hell, or
like,
loud as hell.
I know that the music behind it, the music is amazing, by the way. The soundtrack, I have it actually, and it's by Monica. Yeah, and it's by Monica, who did the Monogatari series as well, and does a really good job of being hype. It is by Studio Kinema Citrus.
Okay. Wait, it's not the...
They did Made in Abyss.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's Made in Abyss. That's also a moe anime people should watch, even though it's
kind
of not a moe anime. Yeah, no, wait. I take back what I said. It's completely moe. Just watch it. Don't ask any questions. It's fine. So that is kind of interesting to think about, though. You think about a show like Made in Abyss, I wouldn't necessarily call it moe, but it has a moe aesthetic.
It is definitely a moe design, yeah.
Yeah, but versus something like Gaku Garashi, or maybe even Girls Last Tour is a bit of a stretch, but I also wouldn't really categorize that necessarily as moe in a sense. Like why do you think that's as different as it is? Because I think with Gakugarashi it tries to be two things at once. With Made in Abyss it tries to go in another direction completely.
Yeah, I mean, like Moe definitely exists on the spectrum, and I think there's because again, like I said in the argument, if you you can think of Moe shows right off the top of your head, like Is the Order a Rabbit, and stuff like that. But stuff like Girls Last Tour and Made in Abyss are Moe in like a different way.
Like they kind of use the aesthetic and some of the attributes, but they're not like defined by it, I guess.
Exactly. Like Girls Last Tour, the aesthetic in general is really dark and kind of very simple and minimalist, but you know, you have the characters with like these giant wide heads and
yeah, like just their literal potato heads. It's great.
But it, you know, honestly, it's not really something you think of when you think of Moe.
I do like when it's used with conflicting themes. Another, I guess, famous example would be Madoka Magica in a sense, even though it's more specifically with Magic Girls than Moe, but it's still very like Moe aesthetic. I found that's actually something I really like after discovering Gakugarashi. From that's where I found anime like Madoka, which I heard of but never watched. But then I checked it out and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then Made in Abyss came out like the next year and I was like, oh, this is fantastic.
Have you seen Kemono Friends?
No, but I know a lot of the stuff behind it. It's one of those things where I like want to watch it, but I just haven't.
It's got like a history behind it, and you know, sometimes the visuals put people off, but I highly recommend it. It's really great.
Oh, dude, like lackluster elements don't necessarily push me away right away. Like I've watched Ruby, I've watched other shows with like really like lacking aesthetic at the beginning because I saw something else in it. I mean,
I loved it, like aesthetic and all. But I do see that it's a point of contention for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people are really like very picky about like animation. Like my favorite studio is probably Trigger, but that's mostly because I see a lot of passion, energy, and kind of fun that they put into their shows. That being said, their animation is either amazing or sometimes they just use Flash where it's like inconsistent, which I don't mind, but a lot of other people are just like, yeah, it's not that great. I get it to an extent, but it's like it's never anything that bothers me, I guess.
No, it's make or break for a lot of people. Like some people won't watch. I have a friend who won't watch Ping Pong the animation or Mob Psycho. I'm just like, come on, like Mob Psycho.
But Mob Psycho though, that looks amazing.
It's unique.
Mob Psycho looks so sick. Oh my god.
It really does.
Let's take a step back from Moe for a second. Let's talk about some YouTube stuff because you know we're starting to grow as channels. I think. What's your story? How did you get into YouTube as a hobby or as like a goal or career in the future? Or,
okay, so
you know, whatever you want to talk about.
So, it's actually probably a common story, but I used to watch a lot of Digibro. Who's, you know, most people know him. He's like the main like anime YouTuber that you think of. And every so often he'll put out videos asking for more people to become anime YouTubers because he's running out of things to watch. And that always seemed like yeah, whatever, maybe I'll do that one day kind of thing. But then I had some extra time one day and I was like, you know, why don't I try that? And I actually was I was following the R anime rewatch of Hunter x Hunter. And I had it's really funny rewatches. I always start as a first timer, and then I end up binging the show, and it's coming back as a rewatcher. So I had binged the show, and I had gone through the Chimera Ant arc, which is a arc that's really contentious and has a lot of controversy for a lot of people because they don't like the narrator, because the narrator is talking pretty much nonstop after a certain point. So I wrote this like giant like essay-ish post about the narrator and why I thought that he added a lot to the arc. And then I was like, why don't I just read this? Like, if I can just read this and put it to footage, more people will see it, and you know, people are more likely to click, and maybe what could go wrong. So before that, I wanted to do kind of like a sort of test video. So I did one on Diana Cavendish from Little Witch Academia, because I also love Little Witch Academia, and I was like, I noticed this, and I was wondering if other people noticed it as well. And so I put that up, and it's really weird because when you first start out, you have no idea of like what numbers are supposed to be. Like you don't know if like 10 views is good, if 100 views is good, et cetera, et cetera. So on Reddit, it almost like immediately died. It had like I think like 7 upvotes after like a day. But when I went to look at the actual thread, it was telling me that it was viewed like a whole bunch of times, and I was like, what the heck? So I just continued from there, and then more people wanted to see my stuff, and that's how it goes.
Right. So you basically started on Reddit because you're doing rewatches too. So that's really interesting.
Basically, I'm kind of different from other anime YouTubers from the fact that I'm pretty much a really active Redditor in our anime. I've slowed down since then, but they like me and I like them.
That's good. I've actually the opposite. I've come to really dislike our anime.
Yeah, no, they get a little.
Well, like, it's just a big Reddit. You can't really. Yeah, it's just like a big Reddit. Like you can't really avoid the problems that come with a large Reddit.
Yeah.
Like it's just inevitable. But I was kind of turned away from Reddit just because of like really weird arbitrary rules, like the 10% like post rule.
Yeah, they're working on that, but.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's exception, like, but it came to a point where I thought to myself after like 5 videos or so, where I was like, one of my goals is just to not have to post on Reddit and have fans like share stuff. I'm like, that just please just somebody post my thing on Reddit.
That's where I'm at right now, and that's good, so.
That's pretty funny though. Like that's literally a goal for me, is just to not have to post things on Reddit, which I'm going to try to avoid from here on out.
Yeah, no, it's a good goal to strive for.
I really just got lucky with the Ruby video. I was at, I think, 300 subs, and then like out of nowhere it just started picking up traction, and now I'm at like near 2,000, which is like, that's cool.
That's great. Like, congratulations, man.
I feel so good. But
what's really funny is that so I actually the way I had quote unquote plotted out my channel was that I was going to make these big videos on really big or wider topics, and I would supplement that using smaller like seasonal videos. But my experience is that the exact opposite has happened, where like the smaller videos blow up and the big videos don't get any views.
Oh yeah.
For example,
how did your isekai video do?
Oh, you mean the Iyashike video?
Iyashike, sorry, not isekai.
It's like one of the worst performing on my channel. It's like the like biggest
oh my God.
Like, research project. Like I actually wrote that for
that's like 20 minutes.
They had a writing contest, and I won the writing contest with that. And
that's fantastic.
Actually, in like the contest gave you extra points if you did it on anime that were not in the top 100 any season of it. Right. So a lot of people in the comments are like basically yelling at me because I didn't include Arya, which is like the Iyashike. Like that's the one. So when I made my video, I basically almost made it as a correction as well to make sure that I got Arya in there.
Yeah, you included it at least. Like just like I'm gonna put this in as a big point.
But yeah, so like those big videos, I don't get many views on them, and then like tiny videos about like a 4-minute video about Alba and Nene from New Game has like 16,000 views. I'm just like, what do you want me to do?
Yo, how do you get views on New Game videos? I made one, and when I'm writing my tags, I'm like, what do you write? Because New Game is like the worst name for an anime if you're trying to search it. Like, nobody finds that video. I don't understand.
So the rank tags
I guess character names too.
Yeah, are just character names. Like I've got number 3 for Alba and number 2 for Nene.
I'll have to remember that for the future.
But I mean, you just get lucky with the algorithm sometimes.
No, for sure. I think that's why my Ruby video took off, because it's a generally popular topic that isn't as niche as anime.
Like
even though it's inspired by anime, which is funny enough.
My Hoseki no Kuni video absolutely blew up. Like it's one of my first videos to go above like 60,000 views, and that's just because when Hoseki was airing, almost every anime YouTuber didn't focus on it for whatever reason.
Which one is that again? I'm trying to remember. Like it like sounds familiar, but I don't.
Land of the Lustrous. My video is called Floss is Worthless. Yeah. And it helps because I was basically piggybacking off of Zaria's views as well, because people would watch Zaria's video and then my video would be recommended.
Yeah, that's how my video picked up, was through recommended. I actually didn't watch that just because I was too into Girls Last Tour, and I was trying to keep up with Ancient Mage's Bride as well. There's just too many things going on.
Yeah, it's too many anyway.
By the way, kind of off topic, but how did you feel about Ancient Mage's Bride? I finished like half of it like last year in the fall, and I was like, this is good. I like where this is going. And then I caught up with it and finished it, and I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I gained not much from that.
Yeah, I think I ultimately gave it like a 3.
Out of 5 or 10?
Not a 10. No, just because like it's not terrible. It's not horrible. It's not a horrible anime. The thing about it is that I hate mediocre shows.
I totally get that, because
right?
at least a bad show is fun to like watch on an ironic level at the very least.
I mean, like even disregarding that, at least a bad show has a common decency to like let me know it's bad so I can drop it and not watch it. But like Magus Bride, like some of the few episodes in the beginning I really liked. Like there's an episode where she gets her wand for the first time. They do that dance and it's like a musical portion. So like I was basically just watching just to try to get one of those moments again, and I never got it. Instead I got like crazy Elias towards the end.
Yeah, it definitely started off pretty strong and held that for a bit. There were some points that came up where I was just like, what is this? Probably my biggest pet peeve with the show is that every episode ends with some sort of cliffhanger. And then you watch the ED, and then after the ED, it's like, oh, but here's the preview of the next episode. She's fine, like always. Yeah. Like, it's literally the funniest thing.
And the cliffhanger is always like, she got kidnapped again for the 7th time.
I'm just like, God damn it, man. Just watch her. Keep an eye on her, please. Like, she's literally like just a lost child that was always getting into trouble. It was pretty funny in that respect. I don't want to trash the series too much. Like, I think there's a lot of good elements to it, but it sort of petered out, like, and then didn't really get anywhere huge. Like, I feel like the ending was kind of whatever. I wasn't invested at all. I was really surprised. I thought it was something that I was really gonna like, but I was like,
me too, man. Me too.
Yeah. The tragedy of expectations, I guess. That's why it's amazing when you go into something with zero expectations, like Blind. It's fun and great. Like, that's how I felt with like Space Patrol Luluko and Gakko Garashi, and even New Game, actually. I didn't have any expectations for that at all, and I was like, oh, this is really good, actually.
Yeah. I'm actually really sensitive to quote-unquote spoilers, where I prefer watching a show even without knowing the premise. Like, obviously, you can't always get that, but
yeah,
that's my preferred experience.
So, well, I mean, I think there's also a difference between like spoilers and expectations, though, because like there's obviously a lot of stuff where like people are hyping it up. That's kind of how I felt. That's how I felt about Darling in the Franxx, because I tried to watch it and I didn't enjoy it, and I kept not enjoying it, so I dropped it. I might pick it up when it's getting close to finishing, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just okay for me. That and Violet Evergarden had a bunch of hype surrounding it as well.
Mm-hmm. I tried to watch it and I just never went back to it. I guess that might be why. I just didn't find much interest in it.
Like, I still find that it's worth watching, but it's just not as good as people thought it would be or it could be.
Well, it looks amazing, obviously, but I mean, I think my favorite show from last season was Zero Camp, which also looked amazing in its own respect. But yeah. That's another thing, man. I feel like the older I get, like the more I'm just like into like just the mellow and just cute stuff, and just I don't know. Maybe I'm just becoming lamer as an adult. Just
no, man. I mean that's like I said before. That's why it's marketed towards adults, because
I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
they understand that you need that.
That's the other thing, is like I really want to watch like more dumb stuff. Like, that's why I was excited for Darling in the Franxx at first, because I was like, okay, this is a Trigger show, A1 show, and they're piloting mechs that the method of driving them is really questionable, but it's stupid. So I was like, okay, this could be funny at least, or like crazy. And then like 4 episodes in, I'm like, okay, we got to the point where I was expecting to get to in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's like less about mechs and more about dumb teenage drama, which is what put most people off about it.
Yeah, like it just seems like melodrama, especially from what I'm hearing from people talk about it now. Like it just sounds like people just arguing about a reality show.
Yeah, the last couple episodes I've had that.
Which I just wasn't what I was expecting from a Trigger show, but I'm a Trigger fanboy, so I'm super biased. You know. Also not a huge fan of A1, so I guess that's probably part of it too.
Maybe. He like corrupted them or something.
Well, like the thing is, like I don't know what to like target it at, because I've looked at A1's like history, and I've kind of like went into like looking into videos about what they're about, and it's just like it seems like a lot of freelancing. It doesn't seem like there's like a specific focus to that.
No, I mean like
studio.
A1 is
like they just work on everything.
A1 is barely a studio. They put out like 5 shows a season, and they're all wildly different.
Mm-hmm. But they just work on so much stuff, so it's like hard for me to really nail down like what makes that studio aside from just they work on everything.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not an A1 hater though. Like I do like a lot of the things that they put out.
Yeah, there's some shows I like that they had their hands in.
They're doing Wotaku this season, which is pretty good, even though the production is not quite there.
What is it?
Wotaku. I think it's called like Love is Hard for an Otaku. Are you watching anything from this season?
Not this season, actually. I want to pick up Science Gate Zero.
Mm-hmm.
But like honestly, I'm kind of still on. I'm still on my break from kind of binging through Hunter x Hunter for the first time a bit, and I'm still trying to come down off of that because it's just so much stuff to watch in a row.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And now that I'm making videos, a lot of my time is also spent watching stuff that I'll be making a video on. So, like right now I'm rewatching Gakkou Garashi and reading the manga and just kind of like thinking of things and not really trying to watch anything. My friend's trying to get me to watch Tokyo Ghoul, but I'm kind of interested, but not completely interested, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But what's really good this season? Because I would like actually some recommendations for new stuff.
So much.
Right.
I really like Hinamatsuri. It's a comedy about a Let's just say it's a comedy. It's better if you don't know. Hisone is really good. It's by Studio Bones, who did FMA and are doing Boku no Hero. It's got some really stellar animation, and it's a really unique art style. I really like Layton. So Layton is it's a kids anime about the daughter of Professor Layton from the game series.
Okay, I know the game series at the very least, so I know like the art style at the very least.
But it's really good. Like it's got this cool like interactive component to it where you can actually play along as the episode goes on and see if you can solve the mystery along with her.
Okay, it's not like Dora the Explorer, right? Like it's more subtle
like,
than that.
It's like slightly better. Well, not just slightly. It is a kid's anime, but it's really good.
No, I'm not judging, man.
Yeah.
Like, no, I obviously grew up on kids' cartoons. I look back at those and I'm just like, oh my god! Like I still love some of these. Like I would like to tackle Western shows at some point. I don't know about how you feel about that, but examples like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd n Eddy, just stuff like that I grew up with, I think is really good.
Yeah, no, and they hold up because I've gone back and watched them.
Yeah, I think Ed, Edd n Eddy's like the master of slapstick as far as like old cartoons like that. Like not super old, but like, you know, that decade at least.
Yeah.
Like just more anime-esque stuff. I guess I would like to talk about Teen Titans at some point, because Teen Titans Go is a thing, and that's what a lot of people know it as, which makes me sad. Like really uncomfortably sad.
Yeah, you know, it'd be good to get some recognition for the older series.
Oh god. That's a topic for another day. I could just bitch about that for hours. Do you by the way, do you only plan on talking about anime on your channel, or do you want to branch out somewhat and talk about other stuff?
Mostly anime, probably. I did a April Fool's video about Getting Over It, which is a game.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
But most of my stuff will be anime for sure. I mean, like I do tend to incorporate literature sometimes.
Right.
I might try to do that more often.
Okay. I mean, it is definitely interesting. Your videos definitely come off as well researched, a lot more than mine at the very least. So, if you're watching my channel and you're like, this guy talks about just whatever, like, just look at this guy's stuff. It's well researched and just it's a lot more well constructed as far as mine goes. Yeah. On a writing level. I rely too much on my editing.
To go back to like YouTube stuff, like the tagline for my channel is I think doing anime analysis through an entertainment lens, and what I really wanted to kind of incorporate or capture is I wanted to try to be the Vsauce or like Smarter Every Day of anime analysis, because I thought that was a niche that no one was really occupying at the moment.
That's a cool thing to like shoot for. For me, I kind of know what I want to do, but I'm super just improvising. Like my inspirations range from Eye Patch Wolf to video game Donkey, so like very different as far as like reviews and analysis stuff goes. But
yeah, no, I can see it though.
It's I don't know. I feel like I have a lot more fun with like editing and kind of trying to mix in comedy without being too dry. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'd like to work on my writing a lot more though, because I feel like it suffered with my focus being elsewhere.
See, that's funny because my editing is total garbage. So like I pretty much rely entirely on the strength of my script.
Right. Well, my editing's not even good. I just try more stuff. So like I've failed so much that I've learned a lot more from it. Which, by the way, if I can recommend anybody anything, if you're like hesitant on doing something like this in any way, just do it until you're gonna suck. No matter how much you prepare for it, you're just gonna suck, and then you'll eventually get better. Some quicker than others. Like it still hurts me to like know that I think Eye Patch Wolf's first video was the Hunter x Hunter one, because I just look at that and I'm just like, oh my god, this is way better than like anything I'm currently doing. Like but like that's the thing, it's different for everybody.
That's how it goes. Yeah, I mean, you just make videos that you yourself would like to see, and then it'll go from there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it. It's like watch stuff that you would find entertaining, at least on some level.
Yeah, I mean, not to be vain, sometimes I just watch my videos.
No, I get that. Like sometimes it's kind of vain, but like other times it's like you're trying to find the appeal in it, you know. But I totally get the idea of just uploading your own stuff and just never looking at it again. There's some videos I definitely do that with. Especially if you just like put in something really dumb. Like I've had my fair share of really bad jokes, and I used to have like an intro to my channel and stuff, so I'm like, I don't want to see any of that. It really hurt looking back through my original anime video, which was a 3-parter for Gakko Garashi as a quote-unquote retrospective, which is more a recap and me saying things I like. But like, oh god, this just I feel better that I've improved, but it hurts to watch, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it's a necessary part of the process, so.
Yeah, of course. I think we might be dragging on a bit. Is there anything closing that you wanted to say in closing, aside from just plugging your own channel and whatnot?
No, I'm pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? What kind of video would you recommend people to watch if they want to get into your content?
Oof. Okay. I would say, if you don't mind, watch my Iyashike video, because that deserves more views. But you can just watch the Little Witch Academia video for a general overview of what I'm all about.
Did you only do one? I thought you did more than one.
I did the one on Diana Cavendish, and then I did another one comparing it to the book Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe.
Okay. I'm assuming you want the latter, because that was like the longer and not your first video.
Yeah, either or really though. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just watch my stuff.
whatever it is you want to watch, this guy probably has something.
And it's youtube.com/Kamimashita.
Yeah, sub to me if you want. If you're not, for some reason, if you're watching this and not sub to me, I don't know who you are, but hello. Thanks for checking out the video and making it this far. But yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, before we close out, I have to say one thing or they'll riot. Is that okay?
Sure.
If anything I said was wrong, I'm sorry. I must have stuttered.